Thank you for a very glorious and eloquent introduction. I wish there allowed more time for the introduction than for my presentation. Good afternoon to you all. I must acknowledge today the fashion show by the students of the Lady Irwin College. It was amazing. We see fashion shows and product development each day. We ourselves produce nearly 3,500 samples a day. But to see some styles today on the stage was excellent. The professionalism of, I thought some of the girls were professional models. They can turn into one. As a matter of fact, we've opted to buy some of these styles. My wife is here and she wanted to buy some styles. So that is the recognition from a consumer of a brilliant performance they have put in. So I thought it will be out of place. We must compliment OGTC for having chosen a brilliant theme. I was trying to find the definition to differentiating edge. And very in simple terms, as I interpreted just now, it is a theme which reflects on pushing the molecules of partnering intelligence, thirsting collaborated performance in this cluster. To come and share on this podium what we as individual manufacturers do is a great association of spirit and performance in ensuring that we as a country all share our best practices and put India back on the top, as we heard in the opening inaugural session, that we are challenged by our figures by the Textile Secretary. As you would have seen from this slide, we burn millions of dollars or crores each day in our factories. Since that money doesn't belong to some of us, we take it to be an easy matter of fact. And I cannot give numbers, but I've seen factories where the wastage is high as 14 to 16% of the purchase value. And if the turnover is 100 crores, 16 crores of rupees is wasted by each one of them. Can you imagine? Our turnover is 1,000 crores approximately, and if we had that numbers of wastage of nearly $4 million translated, where would we be? These are monies which are borrowed from the banks. These are money which have been heard in the past. This is sum of money which is meant for potential growth. But yet we continue to burn them each day in our factories. It is this process that we are going to present to you on what we did, and I'm very happy in the inaugural sessions, including the first speaker, used the word profitability. And we all are here because of only one theme: what can we learn from here to bring profitability into our organizations. Ladies and gentlemen, what we shared today with you is a very simple experience we actually went through. These are true facts. It's a story we have gone through. We've lived ourselves, and that is what we're going to share with you. I ain't promising what the future is there. This is exactly what we went through. And we will now present to you, slide by slide, what we did. This is a cluster of manufacturers. I hope the cluster is really present over here in a cluster form to take back their learnings, what we learned during the course of our managing the last 2 years. As everybody said, we were all challenged in 2008. The downward economy trend, share market's gone down, challenge sustenance and profitability globally. Seeking price rise from a customer was not an option. We love that. But when you talk to a customer about a price rise, they don't even want to talk to you in whispers. That's the reality. Keeping this in view, the challenges we had, we pondered. What do we do? We have 28,000 people, 19 factories. How do we look after them? How do we get our bottom line right? So we pondered, we went to the drawing board, and we built strategies to face these challenges. And while building the strategies, we learned something from great leaders. What you can measure, you can control. What gets measured, gets done. At time of profit erosion, doing nothing or taking decision is not an option. You get no rewards for intentions. Many presentations are intentionful, yeah. Only the accomplishments counts. We made this very clear to my team. I said, this is already tested. We are not going to reinvent the wheel. We will take it from here and move forward. Confident that the downturn could not be forever. It's true today. To stay focused on long-term vision, realign our short-term objectives, threat areas to be seen those of opportunities. That's the classic line we had. Revisit all cost, focus on fundamentals. The threat we saw as an opportunity was to manage our wastages. Instead of seeking a price rise from our customers, share efficiencies with our customers and give impact to profitability. This is the journey we share with yourselves as we went by it. Now, when you walk into a factory, and Gautam will bear with me, when he walks to a factory floor, a cutting floor, or a finishing floor, we always say, "Kya ye tumhara paisa hai?" You tell a worker or a manager, "Kya ye tumhara paisa hai?" "Bhaiya, iske saath mujhko bhi bech dena, because you've lost everything for me." So we said, okay, if this is the situation, where do we begin? What to achieve? How do we go about it? What systems do we build in? What team should we select? What controls should we exercise? what should we monitor, what should be the frequency of monitoring that, what is the training we need to give, and what are the results we are going to seek. We were very clear on the drawing board before we went into reality. Piece by piece, we debated everything. And if you see the screen, this is the true reflection today of many of our manufacturers. You have a waste, you see it, you don't know what to control it. You have put a policy behind it, you have a standing operating procedure, but you still have a waste. The SOP is gone in the drawer somewhere. So this being a reality, we said, fine, we are no different. We are also in the same position. So what can we do? And what is waste? We were challenged by excess fabrics, waste cuts, end pieces and end bits, quality, handling, off ratio, threads, zippers, cartons, surplus trims. At the end of the day, after the shipment has left, you've got surplus garments. Now this is a reality. And this can be $5 to $10 million, or even a larger figure depending on the turnover of your organization. Here you are wanting a 1% price rise from your customer who says, no, I don't want to take your call. And you had an opportunity of millions of dollars lying in your own house internally, which we could have got it, but we were not tuned to it because the times were so good in the garment industry that we were making profits. And now we were challenged. We had to go back and say, what can we do better? If we save, can we share the 10 cents or 20 cents with the customer? If somebody's saying $8, can I sell it for $7.50, yet make more money than I was making in $8? We are always burning money. Waste management is burning money. What are the benefits of waste management? Why should we do it? Whether you sell in rupee, you sell in euro, you sell in pounds, or you sell in dollars. It doesn't matter. It is a direct increases your gross margins, which result in increasing your profit. That's the bottom line. Each one of us, when we go to work, if you do not focus on profit, at the end of the day, it's no point going to work because that you're paid to increase that profitability. It is your own sustenance and existence in this field of competition. So when we said, it's very clean and clear. It's a very simple slide. All financial accountants sitting in all industries are making hundreds of papers, but don't focus on where it's going to come from. They're telling us what happened. It is an effect. You bring me an MIS at the end of the month. It's gone. Are you controlling it? So we said, fine, what do we do? Waste management, we love to be at zero. So we said, what is the most preferred one and what is the least preferable one? Is you cut it and you dispose it off to the kabadi wala. So we then put parameters and said zero, reduce, monitor, control, recover, and dispose. This is the reality of the business. Yeah. So we said, what is the critical path? Okay, we want to do this, great. What is the critical path? So we said, focus on team selection. Our current team can't do it. Cross-functional people handling is very important. Committed, the team we buy people, who bring in people, our people assets should be committed to reduce waste. They should be determined to succeed. It has to be a very intense execution of your plan. Monitor data, keep on realigning your objectives. If you think you've taken the right decision, the data does not show, change, be flexible, and performance review to tactical actions and teamwork. The biggest one over here was to focus on team selection. We said, hold on, I said, Our existing team of QAs and QIs and techs are not going to work. So we went down to a very small institute, the ATDC. And I said, look, there's an opportunity for these youngsters, right? The industry think they're not a Niftian. They don't think they're an IIT. And we said, hold on. They have the common intelligence of making. And we said, we shall go to the institute. We went and had a meeting with them. We had a round of discussions, and we picked up people, our team youngsters, and we brought them over there. And Nikki on my right, she heads this team of 25 process controllers, as I'll show you. We commenced with that with the HR team. So we had absolutely freshers. They didn't know, apart from the fact they knew garment manufacturing. And we said, unless this team is there, our plans are going to fail. So having got the team, we went through a training session. Like you saw the face marks. Whatever we did, we set the team right and moved forward. Our chairman, Mr. Dhingra, always tells me, Ranjiv, execution. There are books written on execution. And we came to a conclusion, no company can deliver on its commitment or adapt to changes unless all practice the disciplines of execution at all levels. It's not, tumne kyun nahi kaam kiya? Aapne kiya apna kaam. Everything is somebody else's fault. We leaders, the bosses, always good in asking questions. You ask them a question, they're shy from not coming the next day. The absenteeism is greater in the senior executives when you ask them to give me a presentation or your profitability. Why? Because they're not executing. And if they are not executing, we do not monitor the execution, we have failed in our responsibility in managing people. Because we're only paid to manage people. This being very clear, the execution was, we said, what are the primary waste factors? Where do we get waste factors? 2 primary wastage we burn each day. One, I think Roger last year spoke about cut to ship. Very critical. In cut to ship, you may be manufacturing garments, or you may be manufacturing home products, or you may be manufacturing any textile products. The other is material wastages. We said we will only focus on these 2 because we saw the data and we said what percentage is what. Having identified it, we said what are the salient features to cut to ship? Where do we control from? So we said material utilization. Now note here is order to cut. It's order to ship. And then comes cut to ship. We didn't jump to cut to ship. And then, of course, after you cut and ship, if you've got 5 pieces which are dead, pick up those 5 pieces, each one has the money. And who are responsible for this alignment? The stores, your CAD, the cutting room, the embroidery section, the production teams, quality, record keepers. You know, they're the highly lowest paid person in the asset, in the production line. Record keeper hai, koi baat nahi. Tera bhaiya kata theek hai ki nahi. For us, believe me, they are the most important person on the production line. Can you imagine in Orient Craft, the record keepers report to the president of the company, which is me. Record keepers, they report to me directly. They report to no production people. They are not allowed to speak to production people. Because half the time, what does the production manager do? He says, go and bring my needle. You go and bring my this thing. He's not doing record keeping. What record keeping is doing, he doesn't even know. Record keepers don't talk to each other. They should be flirting with itself. They should be sleeping together. They don't even flirt between 2 departments. So we said record keepers are more powerful than the production managers in this scenario where we actually want to save money. So that was a transitional change we brought forward. Having done that, now this is a graph which is not very clear, but I'll show it to you because some of the documents are not very clear. We have kept it for purpose reasons. We drew a process control flow chart. Where do we lose money in cut to ship? Where? What are the processes we need to manage step by step so the end result is the same? And what we did with this flow chart is, I'll show you the salient features. Now, this is very careful. These are very important slides. This is what a sharing of learnings we are doing. Very simple. Everybody can practice this. We had a verification process, and we had an action process. What were we verifying? A cutting register, a sorting register. Simple. Follow the sequence of operation. You had a distributor register, production register, embroidery washing register, finishing register. And this is existing in every factory. But you walk to the floor and ask him, where's the register? Sir, I have to yet to fill it up for yesterday's production. Oh, yes, of course. And you're managing it. It's like my accountant telling me, sir, I'm managing cash, but I have to fill my entry of 3 months back. So we said, if these are important to us, what should we do? So we planned actions, and note here very carefully what we've done. In the cutting register, which is the first basic initial thrust to production, we said the size ratio must be there. That means you have an order. You're allowed to give excess percentage according to your buyer. You can cut 2-3% extra. Please put that, and that is your cut quantity. So when you issue the cut quantity to sorting, you will notice we found in our data that if you were doing 3,000 pieces cut, 9 pieces went missing because either the stickering went wrong or the pieces got missing, and therefore you cut 3,000 pieces. In your own department in sorting, you are sending 9 pieces short. You have not even gone to the production floor. Here you've lost your cut to ship in stage 1 itself. And when we got this data, it really surprised us because we were so sure that nothing was wrong in this area. It wasn't true. Then we said, fine, if that is what it is, what should a cutting register match? So the 2 record keepers have to match order, what you've cut, because the ratio might change. The sorting guy, what is cut is your important, not the order anymore. After that is your distributors. We have distributors. You may have production guys on the floor. So everywhere, the cut quantity became the mantra. Now, it can happen you have a cut quantity which is less than the order. That's foolish to begin with. We're assuming that then if it's there, then we go back and change the process, or we cut what is required. But every time the cut quantity, so every register we said, write the order and write the cut quantity and show me what you're receiving. Simple as that. It's no genius, no Einstein theory we used. It was a simple thing that we did, but now we were discussing with whom? The record keepers, the lowest in the rung of production, but now in this plan, the most important in the production. So we went through these phases, and what did we do differently? How do we go about it? It's very simple. You have a shipment plan. What you're going to ship for the month. Very simple. You've got 19 orders there. These are very small columns. They are very columns if you have hidden, which we could not present. But we are showing you the salient columns, which will make an impact when you go and start it tomorrow morning. I promise you that. Otherwise, give me a call. What we did was, on those orders, each order, we said what is going for washing, what is going for embroidery, and what is going for sequencing. Because what happens in reality, you send 100 pieces for washing, 98 come back. You send it for sequencing, 2 pieces again you've lost. Every process you lose a piece, and nobody's monitoring those pieces. So we said, our process controllers, who are the ATDC guys who were there, we gave them this chart. With every single order, you will define how many record keepers you have to love. Be in love with them. You will make sure if it has 3 processes, every evening, all the 3 record keepers must sit together and give you the synergy. Washing says come back from sequencing, it's come back from cutting or not. And if they do not agree, we want the pieces dead or alive. Full stop. If it doesn't come, we deduct your salary. If it comes, we'll give you incentive. Simple. Simple execution of a shipment plan. Then we mark orders in that. I will take you through the process. So this is very simple, what we did. The process of managing cut to ship. Simple. Shipment plan is requested from the PPC department. Insert 3 columns to highlight the processes you have in your factory. Be it washing, these are examples. You can, whatever the processes are, put them on that. So you got a plan in front of you. What we also did was that we picked up all the large orders, 500 pieces, 1,000 pieces, 3,000 pieces. We said, hold on, don't concentrate here. 50,000 pieces, 20,000 pieces, 18,000 pieces, pick up the shipment plan, encircle. These are your focuses. You lose 1% in 10,000 pieces. You lose 2% in 500 pieces. Which do you want? So we said, okay, we are in the training session. So we will go through as we can focus one by one. We monitor ratios. We chase the internal departments. And the cutting, we introduced something very fantastic called the cutting coordination report. This is a 56-column report. It has taken us nearly 6 months to implement this report. But believe me, every 11 o'clock in the morning, of my entire cutting room, I can see on my table, we manage 41 reports from every cutting department, but we only see one column. What is the wastage and why is the wastage coming through? If it's perfect, we don't see the 300 orders. It gets highlighted automatically through a system where there is a problem of a wastage or a cutting ratio. And those are the ones we speak or speak to the process controllers to find a resolution to each one of them every single day. This is what looks like a cutting coordination report. I'm showing you in scale. This is what looks like this is the actual physical document which we monitor on a daily basis, but what goes behind it? It has 3 columns. The most one was, what is your purchase YY? What is your fit YY? And what is your in-process actual YY? Wastage is only consumption. One is wastage because your quality was bad and you rejected it. Here we're talking about wastage of materials. So you had a purchase YY of 2 meters. Your fit YY was 190. You had 100,000 pieces to make. You created 10,000 pieces of excess fabric even before you began production. Why? You didn't even go to cut to ship. Forget it. It's your material wastage. And then we check what. From this we calculate, and we call the DMMs, or the masters, the CAD room. Please explain to us, first of this difference, why is the purchase YY and your fit YY was so changed, and why did you not take the action to reduce your material before we came into the factory? That's money coming in. Money comes in, and 10% is thrown out in the stores. And you say, why we have material wastage? So we measure, and we measure very consistently. Every hour, very important execution. Every purchase order, every style, every day. Last year, in one of a smaller division, we produced 8 million pieces. One small division of ours. And that's what we're showing you now. Every PO we knew at 11 o'clock what is the position, and at 2 o'clock, I walk into the factories from 2 to 6 into every production line with my process controllers, production manager who has to answer, they need to answer. If not, we will go and find a resolution for you. But we walk the talk at every phase. And this is very, very important should you really want to do it. And therefore, we went and started calculating what number of styles. We produced many styles. What percentage, how many styles did we send below 1%? Can you imagine in our industry to have a cut-to-ship ratio of less than 1%? It's a tremendous feat. In the very first year, we had 530 styles which went below 1%. We had 203 styles which was between 1 to 1.5%. And we also had wastages of 3.5% and above in some styles. But we monitor this every hour. Then we also monitor, this was number of styles, this is the percentage. 47% of our production went with a wastage of cut to ship of less than 1%. 47% in the first year itself. And if we add 17%, the industry standard today, understand this, I don't know, you are the expert on it. What is it? 3%, 4% average cut to ship? 3%. So if you're a 100,000 crore company, you lose 2%. Do you understand calculations? 20 crores. What do you do? Just lose the money? So we started calculating this to understand where we were, because we were building a database for ourselves for the next year, what we're supposed to do. And we measured this. And we found, okay, in cut to ship, we had come to a semblance, and we were industry leaders, because I will show you the figures what we had. Then we said, okay, let's talk about material wastages. So we created a document called the Receipt Control Mechanism, which has made a 54-column document, and it proactively monitors to reduce material wastage before it goes onto the floor. Now, this is the most important document. I promise you it's not taught in the Harvard Business School, neither the Stanford. And if it is, please give me a paper. I'd like to see a case study on it. It's one single document which will save you millions of dollars, and I promise you that. Because what does this do? This document looks like this. It's a massive document. And I'll show you what it does, the salient features. Yeah. You buy material, it comes into your store, right? So you've ordered fabrics, it came into your store. Excellent. This document will tell me immediately, I needed 100 meters of fabric, I have received 110. I'm your son-in-law. You're sending me 10% as a gift and asking me to pay. Because our purchase orders, right, plus minus 5%. It's a standard industry norm. We can't supply you, sir. The mill is not going to supply you, sir. I said, close the mill. Get out of the country. Source fabrics where I want plus 0 and minus 3%. I am going to change this Indian standard of plus and minus 5%. We do not agree. And those who don't want to work with us, welcome to leave us. Look at the difference. Plus 5%, plus 0%. You have a 5% saving there itself. What are you looking at? No management team. This is before you even go into your factory for production. Check your purchase orders. Purchase manager ka kya? Plus minus 5%. So we said less than 5,000 meters, we give them plus 5%. With their smaller quantities, larger quantities, plus 0, minus 3%, full stop. So we went through the salient features. What is the sampling YY? So this document will tell you exactly what is the sampling YY, what is the purchase, plus minus, fit YY, card room makers, with variation, excess fabrics, quality of inspection at the store, are we returning to vendor, the cutting layer report. That is very, very critical, the layer wastages. Nobody bothers about a layer wastage. You ask the master, kitna hai? He said 2 meters. You take it, wow. Can I see show me your layer report. I want you to see your layer report. Then I'll go to the end bits. Then I'll go to the end pieces. Sir, but end bits and end pieces is the same thing. I said, for you, not for me. If my average is 2 meters, my end piece can cut 2 meters. It's not an end piece. Cut it out of it. It will become an end bit. I only want bits. I don't want pieces. So we changed the definition of end pieces and end bits. Actual YY and wastage. So this report, every morning, while the cutting is on the right-hand side tells us immediately what is the wastage in the factory in that particular order. Now, if you've got excess fabric, please send it back to the vendor. We don't want it. So then we went back and said, where does the problem come from? In merchandising, the fits are never closed. The fabric has been ordered by the first fit. Then you send your, for your initial fit, you have sent your sample to the buyer who's taking 7 days for the first fit. He might take the second fit. He might take a third fit. The third fit is 3 weeks later or 1 week before. The manufacturer has dispatched you the fabric. That's the reality. So who is concentrating and saying what percentages of a first fit get passed the first time in the first week? No one. Master, sir, fit nahi pass hua. Arey, fit kyun nahi pass hua? What went wrong? You sent the garment from here, you got a spec. Why did it go wrong? So that becomes important. So we start looking at fit due for closure, fabric not in-house, because if the fit is due for closure, the fabric is not in-house, you can amend the PO. Our system automatically will come out with a PO amendment and saying this PO needs amendment because there's a difference between the purchase YY and the fit YY which has been closed by the customer. Automatically it will come up. Go to the purchase department, please amend the POs, goes to the store, should it come, whole payment. Get an approval from me itself. Very simple. It sounds very simple. Go and do it in your stores. And you see what your purchase people tell you, or your store people tell you, or the vendor tells you. And when you deal in volumes we deal in, it's not easy. So I'm only sharing with you what are the secrets for first material management. Fit due for closure, fabric partly in-house, not fully in-house. Can you change the PO? You can. You don't get perfect fabric each time. There is a defect in the fabric. But what happens at the quality inspection in the store? Sir, jaane do. Ye chota sa defect hai. Let it go. Why let it go? You're paying for it. If I give you a salary, 1,000 rupees, and my note is torn in two, will you take it? So why will I take this defect? I am not paid to take this defect. I have paid you to make sure you don't take the defect. Get to the vendor. So immediately, the very first day, we send an FIR, first information report, failure to the fabric vendor saying, tera fabric fail ho gaya hai, bhaiya aake apna fabric dekh le. Immediately it shoots off. The stores have to mandatorily shoot off to the vendor, inform him that your merchandise or the goods is not correct. Let go through the inspection process in the next 2 or 3 days, and then send him all the cutting swatches and say, this is incorrect. So we inform the vendor. He can't say, you kept my goods for 8 days and you're telling me today. We're telling you the very first day it came. FIR. After doing all that, what did we achieve? In the year 2007, I've purposely not put some figures because we're not putting financial figures, gentlemen. We had an 8.5% wastage with material and cut to ship. In 2008 and 9, when we started the process, it was at 7%. If you take one of, I'll just give you an example. If you take one of a smaller division, if it does 300 crores, 7% is 21 crores. So 7%, we went down to 4.13%, and today in the first quarter, we are at 3.549%. So if you see percentages is going down, I will ask you, please go and reduce to 1% in your factory, and I'll ask you a question where it is. Coming down from 8 to 7 was the chart. We recognized, the chairman and myself, on doing the MIS, we said, that's the area. In 2008-9, we can't get money. There is the money. And then we put up the whole team. Came down to 4%, 3% in one small division. You can understand it runs in crores. It crosses $3 million, $2 million, $1 million for any one of you. And currently we are at this. So we have a cut to ship. We have material. I'm showing you material on sale, but actually internally we do it on purchase. We fall on purchase. I'm not bothered about sale. Tune 100 rupees, you took 100 rupees, show me what you got for 100 rupees. I couldn't sell it. I'm selling for 2,000 or 1,000. How does it matter? Your percentage will increase when you do it on purchase value than on sales value. But that's the savings we made, which added to our bottom line last year. While everybody in the industry was saying, oh, we haven't made money, we were on the last lock. We said, wow, we made money internally. We never went to our customers. Our customers were happy because we never sought a price rise. We shared some of the efficiencies with them. We built a competitive advantage, yet we were happy. So both the parties were happy. Hence, we also tabulate and see customer-wise, what is your material wastage? Therefore, in our plan of strategies, we focus on these customers. We're getting these wastages because it could be a nominated fabric, it could be a nominated vendor, it could be a nominated trim supplier. So we go and start working customer-wise. I can't put you the customer names and wastages, but we define them, and then in our shipment plan, these customers get automatically highlighted by the process controllers who will keep extra attention on these customers and the stores on these materials coming in, but on a daily basis. I hope I've not exceeded my time.